Hi, Alexandria. I'm Alan Roebke, a resident of the city. And what I'm doing today is I want to update you folks on the potential of our airport here in Alexandria. There's going to be some work done to the facility in 2024, but basically it's just going to keep it the same it is right now as a really nice private field that's 503 acres that needs to be part of passenger travel. The jets have changed dramatically today. We can bring jets in here that can handle easily 70 passengers and fly to Chicago, Denver, or get essential air service in here at the very minimum that a plane couple times a day goes to Minneapolis and back out here, just like Brainard, Bemidji, Hibbing, International Falls, Thief River Falls, and bring this airport in Alexandria up to the 21st century. There's going to be money available through infrastructure work that the President talked about last night in his State of the Union, and it's high time we tap into that. Keeping it just as a spot for business jets and local flyers and hangars. We've got a number of businesses in town that use air service on a regular basis. Douglas Machine, that's just moved out of the 60,000 square foot building that I'll show you in a minute, said, you get passenger service in here, Al, we'll have people on those planes every day of the week. Because in the secondary packaging business that we have here as a major industry in Alexandria and the Alexandria Lakes area, these guys are traveling to service these as well as sell these very sophisticated packaging machines. And it's high time we do what our friends at Bemidji and Brainard have been doing for years and get air service in here. These new jets can handle a shorter field like we have here in Alexandria, but if you allow me to be your representative to talk to the FAA, the Minnesota Department of Transportation, Air Division that works with airports, as well as the engineering firm that has traditionally worked here and doing some work right now to keep the airport just the way it is with a new surfacing. What we need to do is stretch it out to the very limit possible, as well as widen it out. We've had some accidents here in the Alexandria Airport. A few years ago, a helicopter crashed. We had a couple freight planes. One went into the instrumentation on the west end before Craig Anderson was our airport manager. We recently had another one slide off. And so when we deal in winter conditions and we look towards the future, we need to push our main runway here from 100 feet up to 145 feet. These passenger planes, these modern ones, one of the things they prefer is runways that wide. Now is the time to do it, when Uncle Sam in the state of Minnesota is going to give us a bunch of money to make some updates. We need to go to the next level and do more. And I'm here so our downtown businesses prosper, our Chamber of Commerce members all prosper, our specialty huge industry in the Alexandria Lakes area, secondary packaging, they prosper, our hospitals, our Bible camps, and so on down the line, our college. One of the things with the college, with our law enforcement center, if we would bring passenger service in, one of the training items they could take up is air security and working to check baggage and make sure we have a safe operation. So there's just a whole list of things, good citizens of Alexandria and businesses, that jet air passenger service would bring to our community. And I'm going to give you a little look with my camera, just a short look. And so you get in contact with your council members and the mayor, as well as the business groups, and say, hey, let's let Roebke at least explore what we can do to see that we get air passenger service into Alexandria. To be fair to everyone, and the guy that owns the building, but the city owns the land, I just want to give you some insight on what's going on, or could or should be going on at the Alexandria Airport. And we'll start with just showing that the big building that Douglas Machine has occupied for a number of years, they moved to a new building, and this one is vacant. As you can see, this is a beautiful building that still has a bunch of years of service in it. It's sitting on land owned by the city, 6.5 acres, and the lease of the land and building comes due in 29. And I think it's in the best interest of the city to end it at that point in time. And I want to talk today a little bit about the potential of making this an air terminal for jet passenger service, just like Brainard and Bemidji has. Bemidji brings in 26,500 people a year. We can do the same or more. As you can see, this is a nice building yet, and it would be easier to get off the freeway at exit 100 or 103 and just drop people off here to get on a jet to go wherever. Twin Cities, Chicago, Denver, or wherever the market is calling for. To the west here, we can move that building and we'd have real handy parking, and we could even go down by the trees down there for extended stay parking. So it just has a lot of potential, but we have to take a serious look at bringing passenger air travel in right now, because unless we do, people, nothing will happen for at least 20 years, and that would be a disaster for our great community here of businesses, lakes, academia, and so on. Put some pressure on the mayor, the county commissioners, as well as council members. At least let me explore what we can and should do with the FAA DOT. I want to thank all you folks for watching this clip on the Alexandria Airport. We need to bring the airport into a 135 status so we can bring passengers in, which means we have a whole host of updates that the city council is looking at anyway, but there'll be no revenue if they do it their way. Where we bring passenger service in, we have all the updates automatically becoming a Part 135 airport. At our present stage, you can't even bring charter flights in here because nobody wants to come to an airport unless there's security or a charter group or an airline that'll come in, that you don't have fire service at the airport when a large plane comes in, which we can do if we simply allow me to talk to the right people and to see that we make the right changes. Widen our airfield runway out, or main runway out, to 150 feet and stretch it as long as possible. We can easily get it to another 10% longer, if not longer, if we do some creative things with the people in the FAA and the Minnesota Department of Transportation. We have the ability to do that. And I want to make sure that when you watch this, we get it to the school kids in the area, not just District 206, but Fergus Falls, Long Prairie, Sauk Center, and Glenwood, because they are the ones that are going to get the main benefit when they go out in the world and want to come back to their local lakes area. They can come in by air. And now that we're doing things with adding a third sheet of ice at Runestone Center, as well as having the one by the high school, just think of the ability to bring people in to play hockey by jet service. The same goes for Jerry Rose at the Alexandria Golf Club or the Geneva Golf Club or others, and Tom Lehman, who I made the movie about 2 years ago. Both Jerry in Florida and Tom in Arizona can direct people up for the summer or even in the wintertime. There's just a whole amount of opportunities. You got to remember, we've got air service by Allegiant in St. Cloud, but for 5 months a year they don't do anything. They leave this area, and we made the type of updates that Alan Roebke wants to make at the Alexandria airport. We can get an Allegiant flight in here, maybe the next size or 2 sizes smaller of Airbus. But today's jets, people, have advanced so much. I want to give you an example of if these naysayers that we can't do it here. We've got actually a few feet longer than the London City Airport in London, England. They handled over 8 million people last year at their airport. That's the same, the main runway is the same length as ours. The same goes for Key West. So, and when you look at things the way we should, and to show our young people at our Bible camps or our church groups or scouting here, we have to see that we in Alexandria are definitely a 21st century community. And by allowing Alan Roebke to work with the powers to see that that happens, and you're not a 21st century community of our size and status unless you have air service, just like Bemidji, Brainard, Hibbing, International Falls, Thief River Falls, and so on. Let's get this done. Let me talk to the right people and bring Alexandria, Douglas County, and the Alexandria Lakes area into jet air service, because it can easily be done if we do it now. And the building right now that I showed you before is owned by a gentleman in New Jersey. It's time the city negotiates out of that contract, treats him right, but we have to make sure that he cannot keep telling people he's got that building tied up on a lease for another 25 years, because when I talked to him, he tried to tell me that as well, and I said, you're out of there, and no later than 2029, and he admitted that. And I'm not saying he's bad or good, but the reality is that building can serve all the people in Alexandria area. If we make it into a terminal, or if it's not good enough for that, knock his building down and build a new one there. I'm not against that. There's just a whole host of things. And make sure our Knute Nelson nursing homes, the one on Lake Winona and all of them in the area, the older senior citizens would love to see what I'm proposing here at the Alexandria Airport. Let's be open. Let's see that everybody knows there's more options that we can and should be doing at the Alexandria Airport. Thanks for listening. I'm Alan Roebke, Inform TV. You can see this on the Inform TV channel as well. I haven't put much there lately, but there'll soon be some additional things that you can see there. But this tape about our airport needs to get out to every citizen, from kindergarten to the technical school up to old timers like myself. It's time we come into the 21st century with our airport. Thanks for listening.